aid, heavy fuel oil, the promise of 2 light water nuclear reactors, and finally, steps towards diplomatic recognition, none of which the neoconservatives support. So as soon as George Bush Jr. comes into office, they put the agreed framework on the chopping block, essentially, and they're looking for some way, some rationale for stepping away from the agreed framework, and that's where the HEU, the heavily enriched uranium program, comes in, and the accusation that North Korea has already violated the agreed framework.
존 볼턴 국무부 차관은 대표적인 북한 핵 문제 강경론자다. 볼턴 차관은 미국이 육자 회담 결렬에도 대비하고 있음을 강조했다.
Rogue states such as Iran, North Korea, Syria, whose pursuit of weapons of mass destruction make them hostile to U.S. interest, will learn that their covert programs will not escape either detection or consequences. While we will pursue diplomatic solutions wherever possible, the United States and its allies are also willing to deploy more robust techniques, such as the interdiction and seizure of illicit goods. If rogue states are not willing to follow the logic of non-proliferation norms, they must be prepared to face the logic of adverse consequences. This is why we repeatedly caution that no option is off the table.
Other parts of its nuclear program to other
그러나 네오콘들도 이라크와는 달리 북한에 대해서는 명확한 입장을 취하는데 어려움을 겪고 있다는 분석도 있다.
Just love to hear an answer to.
North Korea sort of shows the limits of this kind of thinking because military force is not really an option. Our good South Korean allies don't want that. The devastation would be terrible. And so military force is not a very good option. We could do a sort of regime collapse strategy where we try to cut off economic interaction. But again, our good friends, the South Koreans and the Japanese, don't really want to do that, or the Chinese either. And I'm not sure the administration really has convinced itself that's the best strategy for North Korea. Because if you do that, there's the possibility North Korea will sell weapons, even nuclear weapons, on the black market to make more money. So there's a little bit of a tendency towards constricting and pressuring North Korea, but it's not a clear strategy of regime change. And there's also no interest in the military option among anybody in the United States that I know of. So in that sense, everyone is sort of still searching for a strategy.
북한 핵 문제와 관련 미국은 작년 5월 새로운 전략 개념을 발표했다. 확산 방지 구상, 즉 수상한 선박이나 항공기에 대한 철저한 검색으로 대량 살상 무기나 미사일 및 관련 부품의 확산을 막겠다는 계획이다. 지금까지 모두 14개국이 참여하고 있고 벌써 10여 차례 해상 및 공중 훈련을 실시했다. 미국은 북한과의 핵 협상에 진전이 없을 경우 언제라도 확산 방지 구상 시스템을 실행에 옮길 것이라고 위협하고 있다. 현재로선 육자 회담을 지켜본다는 입장이지만 무한정 회담이 진행되는 것은 있을 수 없다는 것이 이들의 주장이다. 이들이 원하는 것은 북한의 정권 교체다. 2004년 미국 내 진보와 보수 진영 사이의 이념 전쟁은 더욱 치열해지고 있다. 최근 미국의 진보 진영에서는 미국을 지배하는 보수주의에 대항해 새로운 싱크탱크를 발족시켰다. 조지 소로스 등 거부들이 자금을 대고 민주당의 두뇌 집단이 대거 참여한 미국 진보연구소는 지금까지 수세에 몰렸던 진보 진영의 논리와 전략을 정교하게 만든다는 계획을 갖고 있다. 미국 진보연구소의 목표는 올해 선거에서의 승리가 아니라 장기적으로 미국 사회 내에 지속적인 진보적 다수를 만들어내는 것이다. 그래서 미국이 잃어버렸던 좌우의 균형을 다시 회복하는 것이다.
People in the Democratic Party and on the progressive side have been talking about doing this for years. It was just this time, I think the level of anger at what the president was doing and what the Republican Congress has been doing was so high that it reached a certain boiling point, and the right people came together As in all these kinds of things, it has to do with the chemistry of the people.
For questions, if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand.
네오콘들도 공세를 늦추지 않고 있다. 리처드 펄과 데이빗 프롬은 그들의 새로운 책 악의 종식에서 미국이 현재의 외교 안보 전략을 더욱 강화할 것을 주문했다. 이들은 이란과 시리아 정권을 전복하고 사우디아라비아와 프랑스를 우방이 아닌 잠재적 적성국으로 간주해야 한다고 주장한다. 또한 중국이 북한을 봉쇄하도록 강한 압력을 가해 북한으로 하여금 핵무기를 포기하도록 해야 한다고 주장한다.
One of the things that we need to understand is that this war on terror is a big war. This is not a bandit hut. Osama bin Laden is not Pancho Villa, whom we are chasing through the rocks of Afghanistan, and when we catch up with him and his gang of desperados, the war is over. That is an attitude that is often expressed by people who hope to end this war prematurely, but it is wrong. It is a giant struggle. It is an ideological struggle.
So we hear about it all the time. We have a constant flow of information about the pressure that has been applied to some of the new members of NATO to distance themselves from the United States, to oppose the United States, to develop institutions in Europe that will be a counterweight to the United States. And I don't think it's fair or unfair or unreasonable to say to our French friends, we'd rather you didn't do that. We'd rather work together. So it's with great sympathy for the country that I say this. I think Chirac has embarked on a very foolish policy.
최근 부시 행정부가 유연한 정책을 취하면서 네오콘이 온건파에게 밀리고 있다는 주장에 대해서도 네오콘들은 강한 자신감을 보인다.
It's like ships in submarine-infested waters usually use that tactic of zigzagging, and that's what he's like. But I don't think, even though at this very moment he does seem to be softening. He's going to the UN again. He's talking about bringing perhaps France and Germany into the reconstruction of Iraq. But I think these are minor developments. I think that his strategic objective remains very firm and very clear.
Can you tell me one more time what's the objective?
The strategic objective is to reshape the greater Middle East.
올해의 미국 대통령 선거는 미국인들뿐만 아니라 전 세계의 주목을 받고 있다. 어느 쪽이 승리하느냐에 따라 미국의 대외 정책이 현저하게 달라질 가능성이 높기 때문이다.
이번 선거의 쟁점 중 하나는 역시 미국의 외교 정책. 흔히 일방주의로 표현되는 현 정권의 대외 정책과 그를 비판하는 민주당 측 주장 중 미국 유권자들은 과연 어느 쪽에 손을 들어줄 것인지가 이번 선거의 주요 관심사 중 하나가 될 것입니다.
Come November, the voters are going to have a very clear choice. It's a choice between keeping the tax relief that is moving the economy forward or putting the burden of higher taxes back on the American people. It is a choice between an America that leads the world with strength and confidence or an America that is uncertain in the face of danger. The American people will decide between two visions of government.
Now George Bush and Karl Rove say that they intend to make national security the central issue of this campaign.